what's going on, Pokemon fans? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today's video we'll be looking at one interesting deck. It is a updated version of Spiritomb deck without ADP. The deck that I actually used like maybe 6 months ago or something like that when I first time started to play with a Spiritomb, but this time this deck is a little bit more stronger because of Hoopa with Assault Gate as a backup attacking Pokemon, but also because of that Spikemood Town Stadium card, which says that whenever a player's active Pokemon moves to the bench during their turn, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. In translation, every time you switch your Spiritomb on the bench, you can put 2 damage counters on it and build Spite. Also can add 1, so technically speaking, you can quickly increase the damage for that Anguish Cry and technically hit for 310 damage in total if you have Cape of Toughness available, and with, let's say, 1 or 2 Zigzagoons with couple Scoop Up Nets, you can even one-hit knock out some Pokemon, some crazy 340 HP Pokemons like, for example, Eternatus, VMAX, or maybe some other like ADPization or whatever else it's in play. So this deck plays 4 copies of Spiritomb as our main attacking Pokemon, 2 copies of Hoopa with Assault Gate, 2 Galarian Zigzagoons, and additionally 2 Jinx with Omnious Posture that can also, once per turn, move a damage counter from 1 to other Pokemon that can help us to get faster damage counters on Spiritomb for that Anguish Cry attack, as well as 3 Jirachis for the Stellar Wish, 1 Marshadow so we can remove potentially our opponent Chaotic Spell from play, 1 of each Oricorio for Dance of Tribute, and the Dene for the Dene Change ability as well. So speaking about Pokemon Search, we have 4 copies of Quick Ball as well as 4 copies of Great Ball. For Pokemon Catch, we have 1 Great Catcher, so we can simply easily catch the Dene or maybe ADP, put it in the front with, let's say, if we already used, let's say, Birdkeeper or Research, we can still get advantage of that Great Catcher, which is a good play in my opinion. Now 4 copies of Scoop Up Net, so we can scoop Jirachi or whatever is in the active position, expect for that the Dene and Oricorio, 4 copies of Switch, so we can switch as well. 4 copies of Birdkeeper with Switch. It's very important to be able to switch cards and basically put those damage counters at Spiritomb. That's the main strategy of the deck. So for Birdkeeper, so we can switch the active Pokemon and draw 3 cards. After we switch it, 3 Boss's Orders, 4 Pokemon Research, Professor Researches, discard hand, draw 7, pretty simple. Cape of Toughness times 4, so we can have 50 extra HP on Spiritomb, as well as 4 of each Hiding Darkness and regular Darkness energy card. So this is the deck list that I'm will using in today's video. If you already didn't, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the thumbs up, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future video. Let's move on to the game test so you can actually see deck in action, so see in the game. Okay, so starting first, just because I want to build Spite some damage counters potentially, maybe even retreat to my Jirachi, find a Stadium card and use advantage of it. So I started with Spiritomb and playing versus Rillaboom VMAX. Alright, so let's go with 1 copy of Quick Ball into that Jirachi for the Stellar Wish. Obviously, we want to take advantage of it in the early stage of the game. Well, there's just a Cape of Toughness and a Switch. Gonna get that Cape for now. Build Spite, both of my Spiritombs, and pass the turn for now. So hopefully next turn I can find a Stadium card, put it in play, use a Switch, Birdkeeper, or maybe just a Stellar Wish, Birdkeeper, then a Switch again, and start dealing some damage with my Anguish Cry. So far, only one damage counter has been placed on Spiritomb, meaning that a Spiritomb can hit only for 40 damage. And there's a Skyla from my opponent's side. He attaches one energy card and he can Forest Feast and search the deck for two basic Pokemons. There's a Turffield Stadium for him. So he might decide to go for Rillaboom VMAX, we shall see. Yeah, potentially turn 2 I can maybe even knock the Rillaboom V out with the Spiritomb. I'm gonna need 7 damage counters in it, and that will be 220 damage. So it's definitely possible. It's not impossible. Stellar Wish, and there is a Spike Mood. Should I maybe go for a Quick Ball instead? Let's just get the Stadium for now. And a Build Spite. For the moment I was thinking maybe about going for potentially a Quick Ball. So I can right now retreat to my other Jirachi, put 2 damage counters in the Spiritomb, Stellar Wish one more time, get a Great Ball. Maybe we can find some kind of Dedenne, or maybe Jinx. Jinx can work as well. So, gonna put one more Spiritomb in play, we'll use that damage swap, and looks like that will be it for now. So I'm just gonna hit for, alright, one more Build Spite. And I'm gonna hit with my Anguish Cry. Okay, before that, let's just go with one energy attachment, and that's turn 2 for 160 damage. Hitting for 160 damage for a single energy card at the turn 2 is just amazing. Really it is. No doubt about that, and especially considering the fact that you're trading only one price for potentially 2 price cards, that works even better. So right now I have Jinx in play. Potentially with second Jinx, I still wouldn't knock my opponent out, so it really doesn't matter. But right now this Rillaboom is even in the range of, let's say, the Zigzagoon. But obviously he will try to just... Okay, so he can't knock me out. Unfortunately, he can only hit for 10 with the Grookey. Let's go with some Build Spite for now. And in addition to that, with one Research for 7. So that will be a Research for 7, and I'm then just gonna move that damage counter from my active Spiritomb to the pensioned one. Build Spite one more time. And swing for 190 damage. So I'm heading for 190 right now. This damage can be increased even more if I really want to do that by my next turn. But for now, there is no point dealing more damage than 190. I'm controlling this game for sure. There is also another Jinx as well that can help me to move some damage counters around as well. The Weakness Guard energy attached to my opponent Rillaboom V, and a Mellow Atlanta, which is a huge play for him because he really wants to heal some damage, potentially buying himself a third, but I don't think that's gonna help him because still he is taking a 20 damage for a retreat. He does heal 120, but still far from a way to win this game. My opponent desperately needs to try to get something out here. I might even decide to go with the Dedenne play here, but look what I managed to get, a Boss's Orders top deck. Let's just Build Spite one more time on each of those Spiritombs. Should I go with the active one? Yes, I should. No reason I wouldn't do that. And let's go with that Anguish Cry for 220 damage. Cape of Toughness, as well as the Spike Mode. Okay. So there is a rare candy, and my opponent can finally get the Rillaboom in play, but that Rillaboom requires 4 energy in order to attack, and there's only 1, so he decides to research for 7, but I think it's clearly obvious that this game is over. We should definitely go for the game number 2 here. He flipped the tails on the catcher. Even if he get heads on the coin flip, it wouldn't matter too much because I have Scoop Up Net, and I can pick whatever Pokemon I want. I also have some damage counters on my Jirachis that I can move around, and basically, yeah, that's the GG. So the max damage you can do with a single energy there with your Spiritomb is a 310. So you can swing for 310 damage, which is just insane. So let's switch just to show you how hard he can hit. So Spiritomb with single energy card and Anguish Cry is hitting for 310 damage with only 1 energy card. What actually destroys and kills this deck obviously are other Zigzagoon decks and potentially Tool Scrapers, which might be a thing soon, especially if this deck actually see competitive play. So that is a GG. Okay, so back with action, the game number 2. So what we can expect from the game number 2, let's find out. I'm starting with Jirachi, which is a very good start. My opponent is playing some kind of mill deck on the other side of the field. So we're just gonna get a Spike mode for now in play, and that will be 1 Building Spikes, then simply a trick with my energy so I can retreat down to Jirachi, use 1 more time that's Total Wish, which will be for a Bird Keeper, kind of good card for sure. I'm gonna go with 1 Quick Ball. Setting another. Actually, I'm gonna set that Jinx in play so I can move the damage around, and for now that will be it. Alright, so for now that's pretty much it. Let's see. Okay. That's probably, it might be him. Item Lock deck with a Dunce Purse. Now it's Muck as well. Okay. So... Oh, okay, it is a... Okay, Toxicity with the Muck and Dunce Purse. Pretty cool deck as well. I have Boss's Orders in my hand, but I can't play both. I can't play also Boss's Orders as well as a Bird Keeper, so my target is definitely Toxel. If I can knock him out, that will be great, and it looks like I can because there is a Scoop Up Net in my hand. That will be amazing. So I'm just gonna Scoop Up Net my Jirachi, put the Spiritomb in play, use 1 Build Spite as well as Jinx to move that damage on himself, and then basically Anguish Cry for 100 in order to knock him out. There we go. So he's been knocked out, and there's immediately Atlantis Fishing Rod for Pokemon and Tool Recover, Evolution Incense for nothing less but for Alolan Muck, and there is a Alolan Muck which will discard as many item cards as it can find from the top 6 cards of my deck. In this matchup I really don't need Cape of Toughness because I'm already hitting for a 1-hit knockout against my opponent Pokemons without it anyways. So there's a Scoop Up Net, he decided to remove that. Okay, so final deck says if the Dance Purse has been knocked out by attack from opponent, Pokemon discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, and then you also have a Cursed Shovel, which says that if the Pokemon discard is knocked out, discard the top 2 cards of your opponent deck. So let's move on with a... Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna use that switch route into Stellar Wish for this Cape of Toughness, and I'm gonna add him as well as this Quick Ball, where I can just simply grab another Spiritomb, put it in play, as well as Energy Attachment, switch into my other Spiritomb, build Spite, as well as Jinx Omnious Posture, so I can move 1 damage from Jinx to the active Spiritomb, and simply hit with Anguish Cry for 70, and 4 cards from the top of my deck will be discarded, but the good thing is that I'm moving down to 4 prize cards. So technically speaking, my opponent still didn't put in play the Crazity. I think it is the Crazity Stage 2. And there is another Muck. Luckily, I don't play too many item cards. Oh, and there is also a Glimwood Tangle. Okay. Once during each player's turn, after the player flips any coins for an attack, they might ignore all results of those coins and begin flipping those coins again. And there is a Toxel, which I really need to somehow try to snipe. Well, it's my turn, and there is a Great Ball potentially for the Dene. There is just Oricorio. We don't gonna need him. I'm just gonna put Spike in play and just Anguish Cry him for a 70 damage, and that will be enough for the knockout. So moving down to 22 cards and 3 prize cards. And there it is, the Crazity with the Risk Taker, flip a coin, discard the top 5 cards of opponent's deck. If it is a Tails, discard the top 5 cards of your deck, and that's why you really need to have that Glimwood Tangle in play to help you to, you know, basically flip the coin again. There is another Muck, but this time that Muck goes only for 1. Risk Taker, it is a heads, and my opponent will discard 5 cards from the top of my deck, and I'm down to 16 cards. 16 cards, Omnious Posture. Let's move 1 damage to that active Spiritomb. And let's build Spite as well. So what are we gonna do here? We're gonna put the damage with the Zigzagoon on the Dunsparce, as well as another Zigzagoon damage on that Dunsparce as well. How many Scoop Up Nets? All 4 are actually discarded. Anguish Cry for 130, that is more than enough for the knockout. And I can take 1 more prize card. I have 15 cards left, which means that basically it's really hard for my opponent to mill me out. So he might just decide to ram me there for 20, and that's exactly what he decided to do. I could survive simply if I decided to put that Cape of Toughness. Simply I didn't. But it really doesn't matter because we're moving down to 1 prize. Let's just be 100% sure that we will win this game. Trying to basically find... Okay, no sign of it. Alright, Omnious Posture, gonna move 1 damage just in case on the Jinx. And additionally, that will be a knockout, but he decided to flip the table and concede the game. So, that's the GG. There we have it, boys. 2 easy victories, 2 easy games. This is how this deck works. It melts everything that stands in front of it. With only 1 energy card, you can hit for tons of damage. And that's simply brilliant. Spiritomb as a main attacking Pokemon with the Anguish Cry, and of course Hoopa with that Assault Gate that can help us a little bit more to basically hit before we set the big knockouts with the Spiritomb, but also for 1 energy, turn 1 for 90 and 120 HP, it's pretty good as well. On the other side, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Dene and Oricorio helps a lot to draw support, And of course, Jirachi is there for that Stellar Wish as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. Hit the thumbs up and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.